Hello, everyone. Dr. Victoria Scribo here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center in Wareham, Massachusetts. I thought I would do a tarot reading on, I usually do political tarot and then energetic tarot, I guess. I do chakra readings with tarot, but I don't usually do them on cultural stuff, but a student of mine brought to my attention the artist Lizzo, who played a flute from the fifth president of the US, Madison. It was his flute, and it was actually a glass flute, and it was handmade in France and given to him as a gift. And when the British were coming to burn down the White House during the War of 1812, Dolly Madison actually saved it from being destroyed or stolen or whatever. And it's one that had never been played. So they invited Lizzo to look at this selection of flutes, I guess, that we have at the Smithsonian, I think it is. It's one of the museums. I don't know if it's the Smithsonian or if it's a different name. The Library of Congress, I think. I think that's who has them. And so she got to look at the whole collection, and she played one. She actually played a plexiglass flute. Was it plexiglass? It was acrylic. I think one of those. It might be the same thing. I don't know. Chemistry was never my strong suit. She played it in Library of Congress, and it sounded so beautiful. And so, but it wasn't it was a replica of the actual flute, not the actual flute, but they did give her permission to play the flute at her concert in DC. And it was the first time somebody had played the flute, that flute. And the first note that came out was just heavenly. And then she played it a little bit, doing like however you do that with the flute, like that. And it sounded like the angels. I mean, I have never heard a sound. And while she was doing that, she was twerking, and she was wearing a see-through bodysuit with sparkles all over it. And Lizzo is not in the least a small woman. So it really brought the symbology of the whole thing, this beautiful, talented, body positive, Black African goddess playing the most beautiful, sort of erudite, kings and presidents flute to sort of open the gates of heaven. It was just profound and so empowering. I wanted to do a reading on it. So, I mean, maybe I just did. Let's see what the cards say, right? I mean, it was a beautiful moment of the divine feminine rising up, and it's rising up in Lizzo's flute music. It's rising up in Iran. There was just an attack in Afghanistan of a woman's college, I think, or they were taking an entrance exam into college. And so these are the best and the brightest and the, probably most revolutionary women that were killed. So there is a war on the feminine, and we have to claim our power. And Lizzo is sounding the flute. Usually it's the judgment card where the horn's getting blown, but Lizzo did it with a flute, and it's a beautiful thing. And the trolls. So from what I hear, I don't I don't like even listen, look, or like even care what these people are saying, but I know that she like, well, there was like this this like group of trolls that came out. But when you think about it, like that music opens up the gates of heaven. The light came in, and when the light comes in, you can see where the trolls are, and they're just manifesting like a part of us, really. We all have that troll within us, and even the trolls need to be loved. But you don't have, that doesn't mean you agree with them. It means that you just see them and you say, oh, well, that's kind of, I have empathy for that person, or I have, even if it's, feeling bad for them, that they have to do that, is a healing in a way. Anyway, let's do Lizzo. Oh God. Sometimes these readings just go off the rails, but this is not going off the rails because I think everything I've said is part of the reading for that. So let's see if I'm right. What was the energy of that moment? What is it bringing in for us? What is it bringing in for us? Oops. It almost brought all the cards on the ground. First card, the Queen of Swords. Lizzo is oh God, what sign is she? Hold on. 1 second. I'm going to look. Actually, why don't I do this? Why don't I share my screen? All right. Let's see if I can. Okay. Let me see if I can find Lizzo. Now, this is not Lizzo. This is actually the young woman who was killed in Iran that started the whole thing. This is something else we have to look at. So we'll look at her too. I'm doing a Patreon page now, so I'm going to be putting a lot of this kind of deeper dive stuff on the Patreon page because it takes a lot of time, and I feel like there are valid lessons in it. So I wanna, I need to be supported to do that kind of work. If you like this kind of work, support me. It'd be great. I'd love to do more of this. This is great stuff. I think it's fun. It's fun for me, which is always nice. I've always done everything that I wanted to do because it was fun. I mostly do stuff because of a sense of duty or service. But it's nice to just, do what you love and have that be your service, right? Let's take a look at Lizzo. Now we do actually have a chart on her. She was actually in on the birth certificate stuff, right? All right, now let me just find. Okay, hold on. I gotta just find where I have her. I'm still working on this technical stuff. All right, let's. I don't even know if you're seeing this. Okay. Okay, you are seeing this. Okay, sorry. I just got. Oh, I heard a noise. I'm like, what's that noise? My husband is working on the ceiling downstairs for the room. Well, if you don't watch my videos, you wouldn't know about the room. So I won't talk about it. Let's go back to Lizzo. Taurus, that's right. Lizzo is a Taurus. Yes, sir. So we have the first, does she have any air? Oh, she has Mars. Okay. All right. She has Mars in Aquarius. All right. I'm going to stop the share for a moment because we're doing the cards. Mars in Aquarius. Very interesting. So this is an Aquarius card, hence why I was obsessed with Aquarius. The Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords is the um, the structure for which the element can express itself. And so the queens are the sustainers in the tarot. And so this would be a sustainer of truth, a sustainer of balance, a sustainer of drawing the line between what is right and what is wrong. And so this is really a line in the sand in a way for the feminine, calling on her warriors to come forward and to fight for that which is important to them, which is what they love and who they love. And asking, like even in Russia, we can see Putin asking women to give up their men and their husbands and their boyfriends and their sons for what? For this weird, like, to get rid of the Nazi influence and now the devil influence. I mean, talk about projection. Oh my God. Well, you know, Putin is a Libra. So Libra is the sense of projection. It's kind of the way it works. But so we come in with the Queen of Swords. You can't mess with the Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords understands what's right and what's wrong because she has experienced it all, and she has freed herself from her own fear. She's freed herself from her own fear, and she stands for, or in her case, sits for justice. There's also usually, and in this card, it has the butterflies. Oops, sorry. I forget because I have this thing in the back here, so it messes it up. Butterflies around her, which is transformation, is change, is rebirth. The rebirth of the justice of the feminine, perhaps. Let's see the challenge. The challenge is death. The challenge is to change the way people feel about something. Lizzo is a beautiful, beautiful, and incredibly talented woman. Venus of Wilderdorf woman, worthy woman. Brown and big and voluptuous and willing to just accept herself, right? I mean, that's Taurus. That's what Taurus is about. And of course, Uranus is in Taurus right now. So she's embodying that in her own personhood. And the challenge is that she's making people look at things differently, I think. And having to let go of old ways of maybe even considering what beautiful is. Underneath it all, we have the Seven of Cups. Seven of Cups. The Seven of Cups speaks of choices, right? This guy standing there looking at all these options. Look at all the options. Often associated with the seven deadly sins, but perhaps the seven deadly sins that are before him block what's really beyond that. And what's beyond this is unity back to the hearts, to love, just beyond the 7 choices here. And sometimes we delude ourselves to think that we need money, or we need, or the 7 deadly sins, sloth, greed, all those things, like to feel satisfied, to feel satiated. But we don't. We need to choose ourselves. We need to choose, actually, that guy up top there, the unknown, the what is that called? The something at the threshold. I'm going to say the spirit at the threshold, but I don't know if that's what it is. Which is you, which is your own divine nature. And you don't have to die to experience your own divine nature. You can experience it just breathing, following your breath. Any moment that brings you joy. I mean, when we have a new kitty now, her name is Charlotte, and she's such a purr bucket, and so is actually Charlie. Charlie's another purr bucket. You put him on, he's mad at me now. He's not purring quite as much, but when he's on you and he's purring, it's so healing. And this little girl is a purr bucket, and it feels so good. I don't know why I talked about that. It must have had something to do with the vibration of it. That feeling of being at ease, being okay with yourself. Maybe stop doing and just start being a little more. In the past, we have the 6 of Cups, childhood. That this is a nostalgia card, but in the card there's children, and children aren't nostalgic, they're the future. And so it's time to protect our children. It's time to protect our children. Our children should not be killed for wearing her hat the wrong way. Our children should not be killed for going to school in a state that doesn't have any gun restrictions or gun laws. Because of why? Because it's putting money in somebody's pocket. Please. Let's see what's in the sky. What's in the sky is deception. I feel like she's the sound that came out of that flute was there to help us see who's deceiving us. Immediate environment, immediate future, Princess of Swords. There is something that we need to be aware of. Somebody is not being no, this is a call to arms. This is a call to arms for women to utilize their intuition and your dreams, and to put it out there. If you have a dream, or you have a vision, or you have an inkling about something, I think would be good for you to just express it in whatever way you can. Maybe it's just telling somebody else. Maybe you put it as like a profile thing on social media. I had a dream about blah, blah, blah. So I had a dream last night about what looked like some sort of natural disaster kind of thing that was happening. And I was along a coastline, or that's what it seemed like. Now, I don't know if it was a coastline of an ocean or a coastline of, say, maybe one of the Great Lakes or something. and there was a tornado, and I looked in the distance, and there was a tornado. There was a tornado coming, but it was weird because it was not, um, you know, I live on the coast and you don't see tornadoes, or you wouldn't see them the way I saw them in the dream. It's sort of like what you would see coming in Kansas, but it was on a shoreline. So, and in the dream, I was going around helping people and finding places for people to be safe. And I ended up in the water somehow. And I was sort of bobbing around, and I was there with some other people. And we were kind of like watching it from the water or something. This, I don't know, like, but I didn't feel like I was, like, I felt like maybe, should I be worried? I'm in the water and there were boats in the water. So I was just like a person, like on a raft, or maybe one of those tubes you wear. I don't know. I didn't look at myself. I should have looked at myself in the dream. But I've been having a lot of those, a lot of movement dreams, a lot of moving to different places, going into different uh, hotels and stuff. I don't know. That's anyway. So that was. I just told you what I had dreamed because I said you got to say what you see. We have the Queen of Wands. So we have the Queen of Swords and the Queen of Wands. Let me tell you, ladies, you want people on your side. You want the Queen of Swords and the Queen of Wands. Spirited, creative, powerful. Another feminine energy here. How it's seen from the outside. It's seen as the feminine rising. They know. That's why they're trying to hold us down, because they know that their reign is over. In the media, in the domestic situation, we have the King of Wands. That is the masculine power. This is an Aries vibration. We have Jupiter in Aries right now, but he's going to pop back into Pisces towards the end of October. So, but he's still powerful here. So it's really about a call to the positive masculine energy coming to meet the feminine, the rising feminine. It's not about fighting the masculine. It's about a meeting of the masculine and the feminine in more of a balance, and the masculine being the mental and sort of inspired energy, and the feminine being the emotional and the body energy. A lot of people are sick because and the planet is sick because we're not paying attention to the body, the health of the body and the welfare of the body. And so we need to do that. And we need to do that with strong masculine energy, meeting the feminine. We all have it within us. It's not about men and women. It's not about men and women. It's just that men tend to be more yang and women tend to be more yin. But that's changing too. It's balancing out. Maybe women will start to get more yang and men will start to get more yin. And we see that happening as well. But it goes, it goes, and it's expressed in society, but it's all within us anyway. So we have the ultimate control of how this is going to go. We're the ones co-creating it, right? We get to decide what we want it to look like. Do we want it to look like Ukraine and Iran, where a woman gets her head cracked open because you can see a little hair coming out of her scarf? Is that the world you want to create? I don't. And so we need to focus on what we want to see the world to be, the law of attraction. Hopes and fears. Ace of Pentacles. This is about prosperity for everyone. And not like prosperity, like everyone has to have a couple of Bentleys. That's not prosperity. That's hoarding. That's sickness. Prosperity is living in the moment and knowing that your needs will be met. That's what prosperity is. Having that faith that your needs will be met. And then when what you see as your needs aren't met, maybe there's less in one place, maybe there's more in another place. That's a way of spirit connecting with what it is that you need and what is essential in your life, and how can you connect with your own sense of love in your own heart by doing what you love. When you do what you love, it just increases the love in your life. See the outcome. The end of an end of a way of thinking. An end of a way of thinking. The mental structure, perhaps, of women are less than. That it's like having an army but only using half your soldiers. It's the point. I mean, how are you going to get anything done when half of the or more, maybe at this point, has less rights to their autonomy? It's the end of that. That flute was the wake-up call to end that paradigm. We have the Two of Swords, so we're at a crossroads. What do we choose next? Something's over. What's the next choice? Healing. The choice is to heal. The choice is to balance. The choice is to initiate. This is initiation. This is the path on the tree of life that connects the lower self with the higher self in a way that we consciously choose. It is the path of the mystic. It is the energy of balance and the promise, right? The promise. In the background, we have the beautiful rainbow, the promise of peace, the promise of unity, the promise of unity and diversity, or diversity and unity, right? I mean, you see white light as white, but when you put it through a prism of rainwater, or a prism that you might have made of whatever glass or stone, and you see all the different colors that make up the white light. And so we all play a part. We all need to be a part of the lights, and we are. And things are lightening up. Things are lightening up underneath it all. Underneath it all, it is breaking down the barriers to our true self, breaking down the barriers to our own magnificence. And that magnificence comes when there is a clear channel from spirit to body. And that meeting of the higher self and the lower self happens in the heart. And that's where our power lies. And the Tower card is a card, base number 7. Know thyself. Remember who you are. Know that you can change it with a thought and a feeling and an action. One thought, feeling, and action at a time changes the world. You change your focus, you change your world. I think that's what she was trying to tell us. Well, that's the message anyway. So everything I said, we're going to say, or I'm going to say, is connected to that beautiful music. So if you haven't had an opportunity to listen, and it's again kind of like AOC's question to Michael Cohen, that like gave her the ammunition for um for Letitia James to go after Trump. It was 30 seconds. This was less, and it was even more profound because it's a call to rise up the feminine within all of us. And so as that happens, we're all going to be feeling, and we're going to be not just feeling our feelings, but we're going to be feeling our bodies. We need to pay attention. That's what the whistle, that's what the flute sound uh, seems to be saying, at least at this moment in time. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. Please like and subscribe, and check out, I am opening a Patreon page. So if you like my work and you would just like to support me, you can do that, and it's greatly appreciated. There's nothing more I'd like to do than what I'm doing with you guys, and I need to be able to do that. So finally getting my stuff together. Okay, guys, take care. Love you all. Namaste.